Did you know that Rouge the Bat has jiggle physics in her ears?
This is a fact.
It is a fact.
Have you played the games?
Yeah, if you watch her animations, like when she moves her head up, her ears will jiggle. It's hilarious.
And that is as far into that topic that we're going to get, but we will be continuing to talk about Rouge the Bat today on the LoreX podcast.
Yeah, because she is our topic of conversation, because we are talking about aerial thieves.
Yeah. What was it? Last week we talked about the Babylon Rogues. We had Swallow, we had Storm, and we had Jets. And
I believe you mean Wave. Swallow is what she is.
Oh,
her name is Wave.
Well, speaking of which, today's episode is on Bat.
Oh yeah, Bat the Rouge. You know,
Bat the
Hawk
Rouge?
the Jet, Albatross the Storm.
Not to be confused with Baton Rouge, a form of Rouge the Bat. No, we're talking about Bat the Rouge.
Yeah, obviously.
Specifically.
So, Bat the Rouge was first introduced in, I believe it was Sonic Adventure 2, was the first time we got her. Going into her design, it was interesting because one of the guys behind Sonic Adventure 2, Takashi Uzuka, wanted to explore the dichotomy of good and evil. So when they were making Shadow and Rouge, they wanted these characters to like work with Eggman, but also kind of like work with the heroes. This is a very interesting concept because in the real world, good and evil, it's not like white and black. There's a gray area in everything. So this was a very interesting idea to work with. And for what they did with Rouge, it makes sense because she is a spy. She is your intel gatherer.
She like works both sides too, because even during the events of Sonic Adventure 2, like we know that she's on Team Dark, but she's also kind of working against Team Dark in some cases, being a double agent for not just Eggman, but also for Gun and the President. I honestly can't remember whether Gun and the President are two separate entities in this game.
I think they technically are because the president is the president of the United Nations and Gun is Guardians of the United Nations.
United Federation.
Oh,
It's the United Federation.
Okay.
And Gun is the Guardian Units of Nations.
Oh, wow. I was really off on that one. Darn.
Yeah.
Who cares about
I think
Gun?
they're associated with each other. Oh,
Okay.
Commander Towers with Gun. The president naturally consults. Rouge works all sides.
Yep, because ultimately, like, her primary focus is herself. As long as she's getting paid, she'll work with whoever.
And ultimately, in her personality, she is a treasure hunter of essentially unknown origin, and her whole goal is to collect the shiny things, whether that be gemstones, money, or other ancient objects.
It's interesting with her ambition with gemstones because like whenever she like acquires a new gemstone and she's like, oh, this thing is so pretty, her immediate thought is, okay, what's the next even prettier gem that I can acquire?
That mentality of always having a next goal in mind and then moving on straight to the next one is very adventurous. It's very moving forward. She's quite the Rolling Stone despite being a bat.
By the way, shout out to Rouge the Bat because for those who have not visited her wiki page on Sonic fandom, she has a huge wiki page to the point where it's literally like broken down into different segments. Her game appearances have their own page. Her history has its own page. Her relationships has its own page.
I mean, she's a major character in the series, so
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I mean, yeah, it does make sense because I guess going into this, I didn't really think about it that like she appears in so many games.
How many cameo appearances does she have?
Cameo or actually being
sorry.
like, in it?
Game appearances. This is a very, very long list.
So yeah, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 15. There's a lot. I'm tired of counting in German, but there is a lot.
45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 51.
Also-
51 game appearances.
Also, I was skipping all the ones that were specifically cameos.
Oh, yeah, I did not skip those.
So what,
Arguably a very major character in the Sonic the Hedgehog universe.
And it's almost interesting because she's a major character in this universe, but after like reading everything, this might be a controversial take, but I feel like she doesn't do a lot, which that kind of works with her character in a way because again, she's sneaky, stealthy, like she's not supposed to be the one initiating action and being like the center of attention.
Yeah, I mean, arguably she works behind the scenes as this sort of like spy mercenary type character. Like I would even say in a similar fashion too, like Shadow works in a very similar capacity to Rouge, but has more of the limelight just because Shadow's like the foil to Sonic. So the implication is that you're going to see Shadow a lot more action because there's two hedgehogs.
Yeah.
As opposed to Bat. who tends to play side or supporting character.
Even then, like trying to compare the two, at least Rouge is somewhat more predictable in her loyalties because, again, she cares about like getting paid and has like her own moral compass in a way. That might be the wrong term here. Shadow, he just does whatever he wants on whatever whim he feels like that day.
I think a similar argument can also be made of Sonic in certain contexts too, but that's a topic for a whole nother episode.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that.
For Rouge the Bat, honestly, in terms of where she comes from and where she goes, not a lot of information. It seems that she kind of does indeed have unknown origin. According to the wiki page, she's got like an unnamed mother, although I don't really know where. Actually, what is the reference for that? All right, so this unnamed mother of Rouge's is made reference to by a single line in Team Sonic Racing, where Rouge goes, "You're not my mom, Amy."
I
hardly
don't
a reference
count
in
that
my
at
opinion.
all. But
neither do
you
I.
know what we do have?
We have concept art?
My
Spicy
favorite.
concept art?
I love concept art of characters. We got like a couple. These are like some of her early designs, one of which doesn't even look like she's a bat. She does have the big ears, but she doesn't have any wings. Maybe they're just concealed.
Yeah, that's the bottom one in the bottom right.
Yeah,
right next to the well-drawn foot.
Yeah. Also, one thing.
Yeah, I don't see any wings.
Oh, wait, unless
Dude,
if
actually,
you look at that picture in the middle there, it looks like she does have retractable wings in her arms.
Dude, I see that because if you notice on that one image with the lace-up boots, the like ear piercings, she's got like spikes coming out of her elbows.
Yeah. Oh, that's
cool.
That's actually really cool. And also one thing I see here is also the heart on the boot, which they kept in her final design. So it looked like that was something they thought about early on.
You also might notice too, at the very top of this photo, it says Shadow
as
the name, as if they're labeling the character, because apparently going way back when Shadow was still being called Terios in the development of Sonic Adventure 2, Shadow was the name that was given to Rouge instead.
Yeah, and then near the end, they decided to give the name Shadow to Terios, and then Rouge, they just kind of made, like, the name anyway.
Oddly enough, looking at the original concept art for Rouge the Bat, I don't think I need to explain the type of attention that Rouge the Bat gets, but going back to the original inspiration for how Rouge got her design, quote from Wikipedia, her final design from Kazuyuki Hoshino was to be perceived as a slightly sexy character from the perceived sexiness of Latin women, particularly Jennifer Lopez, who had recently become popular in Japan at the time. I don't know which one of these concept arts came first, but like for the one that we were just showing here with the kind of pierced ear and the spiky elbows, to me kind of strikes me as almost a little bit more like punk rocker-esque.
That one, it also
as
gives
opposed
me
to
like
being
a different vibe of a character, because like with modern Rouge the Bat, like she's got her wings. It's like, oh, she flies, but that specific design, because you can't see the wings, I'm like, oh, I guess she runs fast or something, because again, she looks more like Sonic or Amy or like land-based characters.
And also too, I realize as well, like there's the sort of like tufts at the top of her hair. I don't know if you've seen like a bat before, but like bats have little like, I don't know, it looks like they got little like hair spikes at the top. Not quite mohawk energy, but like in my opinion, a lot more bat-like in the beginning than how she appears now, aside from the ears. The ears I think are very bat-like. I think that's remained consistent. Now there are other outfits and models and concept arts on this page of Rouge the Bat, but that's not worth getting into, only because there's one particular image from Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood. I got two for you.
There's two that I think we're on the same wavelength here of which ones we want to talk about. So
one's going on screen and one is not.
So we're just kind of glancing through all of her different models, because again, she has a lot because she's been in so many games, and one of them just does not look like the others. It's
just she's got these eyes that are like, I have seen the gem of eternity.
And also she looks kind of blockier than the rest.
Well, like this is from Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood, right?
Yeah.
I forgot that they had 3D models in that game.
Well, yeah, because of course I'm like, there's no surprise there, because I played the game. I loved that game. It was amazing. But seeing that model up close, I'm like, oh, this is the opposite of amazing. I cannot deal with this. This is hilarious. Especially doing like the side by side with the other models.
Now I gotta ask, Lycos, does this give you Jennifer Lopez vibes?
Well, it's funny. I literally like Jennifer Lopez. It's one of those like I know the name, but I literally cannot picture the face.
Don't worry, Lycos. I'll do the work for you. J-Lo, she's got eyes. She's kind of like, she does not have bat ears.
I was afraid you were gonna draw
Or
me
wings.
an image.
Yeah, you know what? This is my interpretation of. Actually, you know what? Nah, I don't want to insert J-Lo. That's not the kind of guy I am. I would never insult the Queen of Dance like that.
There's another model
Slay, Rouge,
here.
slay.
I don't even know how to talk about this. I didn't even remember this model existed. Karen, you can correct me.
You're not making this easy. You're not making this easy for me, Lycos.
Because I don't.
Lycos, that was the one that's the one we weren't putting on the screen.
Oh.
Why would you do that? Moving on. This is called the Dominatrix outfit, and I will be accepting no further questions.
Why is it called that?
I'm not answering that question. I don't think I have the credentials to answer that question, Lycos.
I will say, I do remember in Sonic Adventure 2, characters did have alternate outfits, and the way I remember you could see them is when you're loading into like multiplayer matches, if you did like press a certain combination of buttons or maybe even held some buttons down as you're loading in, when you get in the match, you're going to be wearing that alternate outfit. Because I remember each character had like 2 or 3, and I don't remember any of them. I was very young when my sister and a friend of ours were playing with this one day. It was just so complicated that we didn't bother like memorizing them because we're just like, we just want to play the game, man.
Yeah, wait, now I want to see, because you do, maybe it is a good idea that we brought up the Dominatrix outfit. Again, this is what it's titled by the wiki page, because if you could get other outfits in the game, I don't know how you did it. And now I'm looking into that right now. Several outfits are available for each of the main playable characters. The outfits can be only worn in multiplayer mode. You can unlock one outfit for each of the 6 characters by completing all of their respective missions. Oh, is that how that works?
Hmm?
So evidently, there's a bunch of different outfits in various other games and stuff as well, but evidently you unlock the outfits when you get all of the missions done with A ranks.
Oh.
For that particular character. Which is actually pretty interesting, because when I played the game growing up, I never actually got all the emblems in the game, and only now, because I'm streaming the game right now on Twitch, I've been getting all of the emblems, and after completing all of Knuckles' missions, there's a little scene that shows saying, congratulations, you unlocked X, Y, and Z. And I remember one of those unlocks was an outfit for Knuckles, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense. And I promptly ignored it.
Yeah. Oh, and that's how you unlock it. And then you can do like the button prompt or whatever to play them in multiplayer. Oh.
Yeah. And then apparently when you have these outfits, you get an extra ability as well in multiplayer.
Oh, interesting.
And Rouge's Sonic Adventure 2 battle design is a 2-piece outfit that when you're wearing it in the multiplayer, you can perform a 5-second charm ray action to stun your enemy.
Interesting.
I didn't know that.
Like, I knew the different outfits existed. I didn't remember that they gave you other abilities. That's actually really cool.
Yeah. And actually, some of these outfits are really cool. Like, yo, Lycos, you ever seen this tribal wear outfit of Knuckles?
No, I have not. Well, if I have, I don't remember it.
Dude looks really cool, man.
Whoa. He has pants now.
Wait, the implications, man, look at those tattoos. That kid is wearing pants.
Yeah, no, it's not the tattoos that I'm focused on. It's, oh wow, he's wearing pants and a belt.
On the topic of Rouge the Bat, she's apparently got an outfit as a witch, as well as a Christmas-themed outfit, which is basically her regular one, but instead of tones of, what was it, pink and bluish, it's red and white.
Yeah, it looks like she's got some like red on her wings, and then like her shoes are red. I kind of don't like that, because I actually kind of dig the whole like heart motif thing she's got going on, like it on the boots, the gloves, and her breastplate. So I don't know, I actually don't like that. Whoa, wait a minute, what the heck? Sorry, I just saw a bunch of the different outfits in like one picture, and now I'm like, whoa, okay. Why is Sonic in like a full like NASCAR jumpsuit? I kind of don't like that.
Oh yeah.
Ew.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Sonic and Shadow's outfits.
Oh, ew, and Knuckles has one too. Ew.
If there's one thing that I'll say about the way that we treat the ladies in the Sonic the Hedgehog universe is that we dress them up very well. There's a lot of customizable options and stuff for the various different ways that the characters are represented. Like, I remember we've never done an episode on Amy before, but I feel like I remember seeing a page of all of the different outfits that Amy gets in various different parts of the series and stuff like that. And they're really cool looking.
Oh, yeah, because I think a lot of it came from from the games like what's the one that you played for a little bit or do play, the Sonic Dash, where it's like you can unlock like Pirate Knuckles and like, I don't know, Wizard Shadow or Warlock Mephiles. Like, I feel like those games, they definitely get a lot of like those alternate outfits, and admittedly a lot of them look really cool.
Yeah. And what is it with the fact that the ladies get the cool outfits? Like, you know, what if I want to walk around in that whole, like, you know, London-inspired, like, window shopping outfit that Rouge has got? It's a really cool-looking trench coat. I don't know where you pulled that image from, Lycos, but I'm just making reference to it.
That image that you're referencing there, that is from, I didn't have much context from it. It was just like a month and then the year that came from. Man, sorry, I'm just looking at all these alternate outfits and I'm like, oh, these are cool. The one where the Cyclone looks like the original one, the red one. I think that's cool because that's a classic throwback. And the one where it looks like Eggman's mech has like a military like camo paint job. That's really cool.
That one,
I love that.
You're looking at the various outfits, right?
Yeah. I need to step away from Fashion Hunter real quick. Otherwise, I'm going to be stuck there forever.
What's this? A search history that says Rouge Dominatrix outfit Sonic Adventure 2? Yep, closing that out.
Ew, no, stop it, no.
It was relevant to the conversation.
It was.
I will take the deep dive for LoreX.
So we're walking away from fashion now, because Rouge is a fashionable lady, but not only is she into fashion, she's also really heckin' strong. So
she's got the kicks.
She's literally got the dem kicks. She can fly, and if Sonic Heroes is anything to say about it, her wings are crazy muscular like Cream's ears, because she's lifting one of the heaviest characters we have, Omega, in addition to Shadow. But not only is she
solid point there,
she's got solid kicks and strong flight, she also uses gadgets, because as we see in Sonic Heroes, she also uses the dummy rings like Tails does, but in other games like Sonic 06, she has like mines and stuff,
and she's got the ability to use these mines pretty accurately.
Yeah, I remember when I was playing as Rouge for the first time in that game, I was climbing a wall and there's an enemy I needed to get rid of, and I'm like, okay, how do I do this? And then I saw she literally just slaps a landmine on the wall, and I'm like, oh, okay, apparently we're doing this now. She can like plant landmines, she can chuck bombs, and this is a constant thing because she does this in other games as well, including Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood. I don't remember if she did this in Sonic Battle, but she always has kinds of gadgets on her, which that kind of makes sense with the secret agent kind of vibe. Yeah, like we even see that in Sonic 2 Battle, where she had like a communicator with headquarters in her glove.
She's also like, I guess, a lot more like depth with computers and stuff than she may give on, because I think in Sonic 06, and I hadn't played the game recently, but doesn't she have the ability to like hack a computer of the future or something?
Yes, she does.
Or even back in Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, she hacked to get the information on Project Shadow.
Yeah, no, like she is a computer whiz. She knows how to hack in.
I feel like we don't give her much credit for that, because it's always very passing, just like, she hacked a mainframe. Like, she made it look easy.
Yeah, versus other characters we see try to hack, being the Chaotix. They don't really know how to do it because Charmy is a child. Espio's not good with technology, as we talked about in a previous episode. And I would not trust Vector with a computer.
And I guess Tails gets credit for being like the tech whiz guy just because he's always talking about it. But even in the times that I've seen Tails do like his whole hacky stuff, like it takes him an amount of time to get it to work. I don't know why it's short. Is it because Rouge actually makes it easy, or is the stuff simple? Are we just conveniently ignoring it so we can, quote, get on with the plot?
I feel like it might be more of a like get on with the plot kind of thing, only because like I don't want to knock Tails' intelligence, because you know he's like the smart guy of the group, and yes, there are potentially characters who are smarter than him in different fields, like Wave the Swallow in the previous episode. She is more into the extreme gear stuff and can do stuff far more advanced than like him and Eggman combined. So maybe for these cases, it might be a case of Rouge is literally just better at hacking, but in terms of like general like engineering and stuff, Tails is better all around because he has this multifaceted background.
I think it might be better to say that Rouge makes hacking look so easily because it seems that she's specialized in it.
Yeah, which would make sense for like all of her thieving, like, you know, hack security cameras so that way no one sees anything or leave no trace of her behind.
And I mean, not only is Rouge super freaking strong, she can carry Omega, pretty cunning with computers and stuff like that, but she's also got like, dude, she's dexterous. She's like a gymnast in a way, being able to like quite literally hop through laser beams to get into the saves, and being able to do this one attack that I found out only recently she could do in the game by spinning around and thrusting herself up straight into the air with a kick, a screw kick ability, and allegedly has the ability to charm people with her charm ray, but I don't really know where that's coming from.
Yeah, it's coming from that outfit from Adventure 2 Battle.
Oi, the Christmas outfits. My goodness, the colors red and white, unheard of.
No way.
I was stopped in my tracks when this woman's ears flapped in my direction.
It's funny if this is some kind of like hypnosis ray, because in the comics, she actually gets hypnotized by Starline at one point.
Really?
Yeah, so this is after the events of the Zombot arc. She needs parts to repair Omega because Tails is missing pieces and she wants Omega up and running again. And there's this very famous rich man who has some leftover scraps of the original E100 series. And she learns that the thing he loves most is chow races. So she essentially gets a group together. It's like her, Amy, and Cream, and asks Vanilla to borrow Cream and Cheese to basically enter the races, win the races, and get the E100 parts. She's basically is pulled aside by the host of the events. Basically, it's like, oh, we can make a trade deal. Like, oh, if you give me that chow of yours, I'll give you anything you want in my collection. She agrees, but she's planning on basically stabbing him in the back and not giving Cheese, obviously, because Cheese is not hers to give. As Omega iterates for her, considering his head is in her suitcase.
I forgot at this point, Omega doesn't have a body.
Yeah, he's just a head. And she brought him with her for some reason.
Well, I mean, Rouge and Omega are friends.
Yeah, and she wants her big metal buddy back up and running.
I wonder how much his head weighs specifically.
I was gonna say not that heavy, but I don't know like what specific metal he is, because that would affect density. So I don't know. It could weigh a lot for all I know. But so after she agrees to this deal, she's walking out. She's approached by a hooded figure who turns out to be Dr. Starline. He hypnotizes her, basically like implants like an idea in her head while she's hypnotized. And before he's done doing what he needs to do, he basically makes it so she does not remember the conversation or anything. But for some reason, she does still remember the fact that she was hypnotized. After this whole ordeal is over and like they get the parts and everything, she relays to Tails that she was hypnotized.
Interesting.
I don't have the entire context on it because I'm only reading plot summaries and I have not gotten there in the comics.
Well, while you were giving that spiel, I found the Hypno Gear page on the IDW Sonic Wiki page. And apparently it's unknown when the heck he created it, but he started using it after he lost the Warp Toad Pass at that point in the comic series. And it's called Hypno Gear, apparently. I'm gonna send that over to you because I didn't even realize he had that. I'm not that far into the series. Yeah, what the heck?
Wow. I'm looking at this image and I'm like, he is so freaking smug about it.
Dude, he's a smugly duckling.
Dude,
that he is.
As a child and still as an adult, I see this character, I'm like, this guy, he deserves to get punched in the face. He's too smug about everything.
Also, I just realized when we recorded Babylon Rogues,
yes,
and we were talking about other talking about other bird characters.
We forgot about Starline.
Oh, wait. Actually, he's a platypus. I thought it was a duck.
What?
Starline's a platypus.
I did not realize he was a platypus. I thought he was a duck.
Neither did I.
What the heck?
Wow, what the heck?
Mind blown.
Out of context spoiler, to prevent spoilers, Ian Flynn on Twitter, Duckbill Platypus.
Wow.
Back to Rouge. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about
We're not talking about that stupid duck.
Ugh. Evidently, Rouge does have some pretty close relationships with notably the other members of Team Dark. As Lycos was just saying, apparently when she was going around on her hypno adventure, she had Omega's head stashed away in her purse or whatever.
Well, and her having like this kind of special bond with them, it kind of makes sense because of like the teams in Sonic Heroes. A lot of people see Rouge as the leader of Team Dark, which kind of makes sense because she's the one who stops Omega and Shadow from killing each other in the beginning. I did not realize why Omega opens fire on Shadow because he thinks that Shadow is a Shadow android, which would fall under an
makes sense.
Eggman robot, which he swore to destroy. I did not realize that.
I mean, to be fair, based off of all the context we have on Rouge so far, she is clearly the smart one.
Oh yeah, no. Of that team, she is the smart one because she will communicate her plans, unlike Shadow, and does not go murder crazy, unlike Omega.
I do see a couple of mentions here on the wiki page in terms of how Rouge talks to Shadow, how Rouge talks to Omega. Like, Rouge is very clearly like a sort of like mediator for Omega, because Omega is very, very brash and can kind of give direction where Omega might just want to completely open fire. And then on the Shadow side, like, Shadow admittedly has a bit of a torn up past that is kind of dealing with his demons and stuff like that. And there's a number of cases where Rouge seems to like genuinely express like concern for Shadow and just the stuff that he's going through.
Yeah.
They also like, they're all like kind of business partners in a way too, just because of the whole like kind of just the fact that they're all kind of ostracized characters for various reasons.
Yeah.
They're outcasts.
And with both of them like kind of their own like social quirks, that really actually puts her like cunning, her negotiation to the test, because again, like her being a secret agent, her being a thief, like she knows how to talk to people.
A little bit of social manipulation.
Yeah, so this is constantly like keeping her on her toes about it.
And
it's very
wonder if
interesting as well. She actually gets annoyed sometimes when they don't listen to her. Like there was a situation in the IDW comics where she sent Omega to investigate a Eggman base, just scout it out, and Omega decided to throw a full-blown assault. She was on comms basically yelling at him until she lost contact with him, and she's just like, oh my gosh. She's had this similar situation with Shadow where she was trying to communicate something to him. He goes AWOL, does his own thing, and basically she's looked at Amy, who was in charge of the operation. She's like, oh yeah, don't worry, I'm gonna chew him out for this later. She does not like it when her friends don't listen to her. I feel like friends is the right term here. She likes these two enough.
Yeah,
that
I
they
can see
are
that.
constantly, they are a team together. Despite all of her experience and everything, there are some things that she can't do, as we see in Sonic X Shadow Generations The Dark Beginnings, where she helps Shadow get a rocket to go to the Ark. It's about to get shot down and by all of the automated defense systems, and Abraham Tower shuts it down, and he's like, dude, you know what you and Shadow did and Omega cost us like millions in assets, right? And she's like, hey man, I'm just trying to do what I can. And he's like, why didn't you try and talk Shadow out of this? And she confesses the only person who could have talked him out of doing this would have been Maria, because I think the line specifically is the only person who could have talked him out of it was her.
And I think there's also something to say too about like, you know, Rouge's at the very least like social awareness. Like that moment there of like, you know, the only person who could have talked him out of it was Maria, right? Shows that she is able to identify the sort of boundaries that Shadow has pushed up and knows when to push them and when not to. And at the very least, like that's either social awareness or subtle manipulation, or it's just having enough respect for like another person to the point where you're like, you know what, that's a battle that he's got to fight on his own, and I'm here to support him with it, but I'm also here for my own needs, and you know, I want to stay out of the crossfire, which totally fits her MO.
Well, actually, I feel like this is staying out of the crossfire and actually going back to that manipulation, because for her assistance of Shadow, she was like, I will help you get a ship, but only if you come to Sonic's surprise birthday party.
Which is why he appears at the birthday party in Sonic Generations.
So she had her motives here. It's like, okay, yeah, I'll help you, but you have to do this for me.
Dude, in a way too, like Rouge also plays the role of like the extrovert who brings the introvert out to like parties and stuff like that by bargaining with them. I totally relate to that on a personal level. Oh my gosh.
Is that how you feel when you're dealing with me? I am a hard introvert.
Admittedly, I mean, I'm a bit of an introvert too. Don't get me wrong. I like to drag you out to places and stuff like that, but I stay indoors, Lycos. I'm too busy. I'm here at my bar. I'm inside all the time. I haven't been outside in 3 days.
Sorry, I'm just mentally picturing like Rouge knocking on Shadow's door and be like, hey, go to the club with me. Hey, we have a party to go to. And Shadow's like, no, I don't want to go. And then she knocks on Omega's door. Hey, Omega, we're going to a party. Are there robots to kill there? No, then I'm not interested.
No. I think
there's a pinata.
And then after that, Rouge goes back to Shadow's place with Omega, knocks on the door. Shadow's like, I told you I'm not coming. And then Omega just drags him out.
Or I could also see it as Shadow is seeing that they're going, and he's like, okay, I guess if you're both going, then I'll go too.
I absolutely had this image in my head of Rouge like knocks on the door, like knock, knock, knock. Shadow opens and just like, I told you no. And then Omega's eyes just like glare out from behind Rouge. And then it's Shadow like clawing on the ground as he's being dragged out the door. He's like, no, I want to stay home. I don't want to go out. And then Omega's just like, you don't have a choice. You're coming with me. You're gonna party whether you like it or not.
No, I was practicing.
And Rouge is
I was practicing my K-pop routine. No.
And Rouge just in the background, just like, boys will be boys.
She has to herd cats with her teammates. She drags them to, of all places, her club, Club Rouge. Did you know she is a business owner?
No, she is? She has a business?
She has a club in Sonic Battle called Club Rouge.
No way! Yeah, Club Rouge, check that out. Ew, is this a pinball machine?
It looks kind of pinball-y.
It looks like a giant pinball machine thing. Yeah, a pinball-themed casino. And it's apparently located in Night Babylon in Sonic Battle. Check that out. And a business owner. At least according to one resource, Rouge the Bat is 17, at least according to some reference. So, like, dude, actually, young female business owners.
I know the exact resource they're talking about.
What is it?
That is the manual for Sonic Heroes, because it gave the ages of most of the characters.
Oh, interesting.
And for Team Dark, she is the only member who had a canonical age in that, because Shadow and Omega, both of their ages were classified as unknown. But yeah, that's where we got like Vector's 20, Big is 20, Cream is 6, Tails is 8, Sonic is 14, I think?
14?
And I think Amy's 12. It's been a while since I flipped through that one, so my memory's a little rusty.
Dude, I just decided to listen to the theme track of Club Rouge and Sonic Battle. It's pretty swanky.
Again, that's one thing that the Sonic games are known for, is having really good music.
Yeah.
Like both like just stage music and also like character themes. Most of their music is so good. Like, admittedly, there are some that are I'm like, not my taste. But like overall, they're great.
Dude, and Rouge's theme in Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, like Flying the Freedom.
Okay, that is the one.
Truth.
Some context, we were talking about this before the episode started, and when you were like, oh yeah, Rouge's theme, and I'm like, I was trying to think of it, and I'm like, I can't think of it. I kept thinking of Amy's theme from Sonic Adventure, and I'm like, no, that's not right. And then I was like, okay, maybe it's that theme, the da 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 da. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's the one. Okay.
It's got the shooby dooby woobies in the beginning.
Shooby dooby woobies.
No, it goes like shoob 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 yeah. Oh.
Is that part
it's part of the song. Yeah. And it's got a little like bells and stuff in the back. It's a wonderful song, Flying the Freedom, by who's it by? I don't know, but it's on the Sonic Adventure 2 Battle multi-dimensional soundtrack.
Have we missed anything with Rouge the Bat?
I don't know. I feel like we kind of covered a lot here. Covered a lot of ground. I will say, of what we haven't talked about are some of her appearances in some of the games and some of the TV series, in particular Sonic Prime, which explores, as I've learned a little bit recently, this Shatterverse, which portrays characters in other multiverses as different pieces of themselves extrapolated into individual implementations of that character. Like, for example, one of the character versions of Rouge, Rebel Rouge, is, quote, made from the part of her mainstream counterpart who is a confident leader, and more importantly, the part of her who is not greedy or selfish. So I don't really know much about Sonic Prime or this concept of the Shatterverse, but it appears to me that there are various personality, let's say, facets of a character that gets explored in these universes.
Yeah, basically like extracted from the character as a whole, and that piece made into their own character. So basically in the Shatterverse, I'm just theorizing, by the way, I have not seen Sonic Prime, that there are multiple versions of this character, but each one is a specific trait. So there's probably also a Rouge out there who is straight up like just a selfish thief. They are only looking out for themselves.
I don't exactly know which one that is, if there is one in particular. Again, not super familiar with Sonic Prime yet.
That's an interesting concept though for characters. I like that.
But yeah, I feel like it was pretty comprehensive, all things considered.
Of the character pages we have looked at, I think this is one of the longest ones by far. Like appearances in like games and whatnot. On her main page, it starts with Sonic forces. And then it's like, oh yeah,
man,
if you
you're
want
right.
a comprehensive history, you have to click this link. And that's where it has all of them. It's like, oh man.
I'm also looking at the just for the sake of completeness, the Rouge the Bat disambiguation page, and there are multiple implementations of Rouge in other universes, including, worth mentioning, not Rouge the Bat, Zouge the Bat with a Z.
She became a
Who
Zeddy?
exists? No, no. Apparently, this is in the pre-Super Genesis wave Archie comics where she is a therapist, and it seems to be pretty intelligent and charming to encourage inmates to rehabilitate.
Good for her.
Just as a side note, everybody in this no zone area in the Archie comics have Z's in their names, like Zonic the Zone Cop, Warden Zobotnik, or Znively.
Literally, it's like if the Zeddy took over, but this was like
Zector, Zespio.
decades before the Zeddy became a thing.
There's so many Z's. I love Zespio and Zector in particular.
What about Zamy and Zream and Zig?
I don't know. Oh, anyways. What are you
I
saying?
could go on for like this for hours, by the way. Zuckles, Zales.
Unlike Zonic, I don't zuckle.
I'd rather Slex my Slussels. You've given me too much power. We gotta stop. Otherwise, I'm not gonna be able to go back.
Oh, Zozak.
So, Cameron, where do we find ourselves?
Well, let's see. We talked a lot about Rouge today.
We
That was
did.
pretty good. That was a lot more in depth than I thought I was going to get with Rouge.
Same.
It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I don't know. Who haven't we talked about at all?
I mean, if we go back to the Sonic Heroes cast, there are 4 playable characters we have not talked about. We haven't talked about Amy, and then Team Sonic.
Oh yeah, I guess we have not done an episode on any of the main 3. I don't know if I want to do that yet. You know, like Sonic's a big character.
No,
They're
because
big characters,
here's
you
the
know?
thing. That's too basic for me. I don't want to just talk about, oh, this is Sonic. He's really cool. He's fast. No, I'd be like, oh, this is Night the Owl. He's a radio show host.
Scourge the Hedgehog.
No, you mean Zurge the Hedgehog?
Zurge the Hedgehog.
I told you I'm going to keep going with this.
This is terrible. I hate this. Yeah, who do we want to talk about next?
Honestly, I would not mind doing a Amy Rose episode. Like, I mean, if we want to talk about like other like strong female characters, I mean, we got tons. We got Amy, we got Tangle, we got Whisper. We could also talk about Jewel. We could talk about, if we wanted to jump into a different media, we could talk about Styx.
We've done a lot of episodes on characters recently. I guess we did the Rings episode the other day.
Yeah, we
right?
did. Do we want to do like a game overview? Because we haven't talked about a game in a while. How's about this is a conversation we have later. We'll figure it out for you guys next time.
If you ever want to make a request to the LoreX podcast of what to talk about next or on our deep dives, let us know in the comments section.
Yeah, whatever platform you're listening on, like leave us a comment. Let us know.
Yeah.
If there's enough to talk about there, we'll talk about it. It'll be great. Thank you guys for listening. I am Lycos Lore. You can find me over on YouTube where I take 2 games, mash them together, and kind of see what abomination crawls out.
And I'm Cameron with an X, the video game mixologist. You can find me on Twitch and YouTube, mostly mixing up drinks and whatnot, inspired by our favorite characters and more. How do we want to end this?
I don't know.